Hey guys, Ivan here at ivanmana.com. This is a long overdue video. I wanted to do a GrooveFunnels review video for a very long time, but I was waiting until it would come out of beta, and it doesn't look like there's any indication that they will ever be coming out. So I'm just going to make the video here right now. Now, before I get into it, guys, this is a completely unbiased review. I'm not trying to offend anybody or anything. This is my review based on my experience because I have used over 10 plus landing page, website, funnel builders over the past 4 years. And so I have a basic gist, a basic idea of which builders are easy to use, which are hard to use. Now, I realize I might get a lot of robot comments or comments from you GrooveFunnel crusaders who already bought the plan. Just know that if you try to leave any sort of intimidating comments trying to attack me personally, it does not look good on you. It doesn't offend me. It doesn't affect me in any way. It just looks bad on you because now why are you trying so hard to defend this software? Is there something wrong with it? Is somebody sending you to leave comments on videos that don't have the best reviews? So something for you guys to keep in mind. I welcome all comments, but just again, this is an unbiased review. Don't attack me personally. It just looks bad on you. That being said, I'm going to review three facets, three kind of categories of GrooveFunnels, all of which are, I think, the most important for any affiliate marketers, which is 1, landing page / funnel builder, 2, email and autoresponder, sequence and integration, and 3, support. GrooveFunnels is apparently the jack of all trades. They have a lot of things going on, but these are the bread and butter. Landing page and email, that's the bread and butter of any campaign. You cannot do any advertising without some sort of website, some sort of page. So we're gonna go through these step by step. Sometimes I will be showing things on screen, like I'll obviously be showing things behind my shoulder, but I will also be showing it, if you look over here on the side, in case I forget something, I will add that in as well to show you how it works. So the first thing I want to cover is landing page / funnel builder. How is it? Is it any good? Well, GrooveFunnels, let's look at first what they promise. They're saying they're the #1 page builder, right? Funnel builder, and they compete with ClickFunnels. So they claim to be the ClickFunnels killer. So how accurate is this statement? Are they the ClickFunnels killer? Let's take a look. Here I have my sample landing page. So I guess as a spoiler, their landing page builder is incredibly frustrating to work with, incredibly slow, incredibly buggy. This is definitely not the ClickFunnels killer. So things here, they're not intuitive whatsoever. They make it really complicated with all these options. Like if I want to move this, this bar anywhere, I want to move it a little bit to the right, to the left. With ClickFunnels, it's pretty easy. You go in there, you click on it, you adjust the margins left, right. Here you have to go into spacing, you have to adjust margins, padding, all that, which affects your mobile view as well. So you really have to go into each of these kind of categories, play with the spacing. It's really not intuitive, not simple for somebody just starting out. Now, this alone would be fine if the builder wasn't buggy and frustrating to work with. If I, for example, want to add a section, I'm gonna go in here into elements, I'm gonna add a container and watch what happens. Let's just do an example. And here you see already that I can't even put it above. There you go. Finally got that. Let's suppose I want to add 3 columns. I'm going to add 3 columns. Let's suppose I want to put my logo on the left, right? So I'm going to find image. By the way, this is also frustrating over here. Let's go into elements again. You have to select kind of like, this is just way too many things, right? Like this can be condensed. This is really hard to find. They're all like the same color. It's not easy to use at all. So let's suppose I want to add an image. I want to add a logo. I'm going to drag it here into this, right? This element. I'm going to select it, and let's suppose I want to add my logo. So I'm going to click it here. I'm going to go to configure. I'm going to choose image, and I'm going to select my logo here. I'm going to click select. I'm going to click update. And now all of a sudden you're going to see, and yeah, it's going to take a while to load. Now my logo is huge, and it's all the way at the top for some reason as opposed to the left. So let's suppose I want to reduce the size. I'm reducing it. Okay, so there's still these elements. Now we can remove it. If I click on any of the containers, I can click on it and I can remove, which are, these little icons on the left, top left, which are really hard to see. I don't know why it's not more visible. I can remove it. But then let's suppose I accidentally reduce the size of the logo a little bit too small as I'm testing out. So I clicked on it and then I'm going to make it smaller, and now it's stuck. So now if I want to make it bigger, see what happens? Okay, so things like that make it extremely frustrating, guys, to work with. Super, super frustrating. If you move this is going to drastically affect your mobile view. You will have to go into mobile and just make big changes. So regardless of what you think about this is just frustrating to work with, and it is not intuitive at all. These page builders, as all the other ones I've been using, they're intuitive. They all make sense. Like if I want to increase the size of that, I should be able to increase it here. Now I don't even know what I have to do. Now I have to delete this. This is just one example of things that don't work. Another thing is over here, for example, if I select this input field, I can click here and let's say we enter your best name here, for example, right? Just so we see a difference, ... And then if you click out of that, it's gonna show up. It's gonna say here that it's kind of like, this is what it's gonna look like, but actually, if you refresh the page, if you save and preview the page again, it's not gonna look like that. So that's gonna be gone. And the reason for that is because you actually have to go into configure and you have to enter your thing there. So why then are you able to write things here? So this is just an example, guys. There are many examples like this. It's counterintuitive. It's frustrating to work with. Definitely not the ClickFunnels killer. Now, enough about this page builder. Let's look at the next component, right? Part number 2, which is email. Autoresponders. Again, this is super important. You obviously need this. So autoresponders, they do work here, okay? So whether you use their internal autoresponder or whether you use a third-party integration, it works. No question about that. The issue is that, again, first of all, if you use the integration, you really have to do a lot of editing on the input form. And first, what you have to do is you have to go into elements. You have to drag for some reason, you have to drag a form, like an empty form container. So if we drag this here, let's suppose, let's say over here, this is an empty form, and now we have to drag elements. So let's say input field, I'm gonna drag it. See how this is like, even this is pretty frustrating. I can't even add it here. Like, how do you even add it here? Super frustrating. So now it's been added over there. And if we add a submit button, we can add the submit button, say right below it. And see what I mean? Like, this is not intuitive at all. Okay, so I should be able to just drag and drop it in here. I can't. And so this is that input field that we added right here. So if you're using this third-party integration, you're gonna have to do a lot of editing on this little gray form. You have to add your text. You have to really make this look nicer. Nobody has like a little gray, form that looks so huge. You're gonna have to make it smaller. You're gonna have to adjust the size. You're gonna have to maybe drag it to the center. Other page builders, they made it way easier to use. Like this button, you pretty much have to know coding for this to work. You pretty much have to know coding, and even then, like over here, even if I want to drag this, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna drag it here. Drag it right underneath it and right there, voila, okay? And now I have to go in there and I have to make the submit button go to the middle. Again, really frustrating, guys. I've never seen this happen before. Now, aside from that, the integration works, okay? So yes, once you set it up, you go into like the form settings and you click on configure and you integrate with the third-party autoresponder. And by the way, if you click on the form and you click on configure, let me click on this form. If you select your integration, so I actually have a get response integration here, but it's buggy, doesn't show up here. Now, I already submitted this. It is a visual bug, but it's frustrating for somebody who's new, because if you just added your Aweber get response integration, you think like, oh, well, where's the integration? It's not showing up, but you have to click on it and it shows up. So another one of these little bugs, guys, they add up. Now, aside from this third-party integration, and as you can see, the difficulty of creating something like this, let's talk about the default integration, the GrooveFunnels email sequence. So it is possible to do, but you have to use their form. You have to use their embed form. And the issue with that is the form looks ugly and you can't really edit it. So if you go over here, if you go into forms, you have to use this JavaScript form. You have to go into here. So here's the form. Yeah, we're gonna go into forms. Let's suppose we wanna edit this form, right? There's really limited editing you have available. You really can't edit much. And even if you can edit, it's really buggy. So this is as far as you can edit. You cannot edit more than that. You're gonna get the code for this. You can add more fields, but like, what if I want to change this? What if I want to change the button text? What if I want to change the button color? What if I want it to go from left to right? You can't do that. So you're pretty much forced to use a third-party autoresponder if you want any customization at all on your form. So it's not the master of everything. It is the jack of all trades, master of none, okay? Because it's not really good at really anything. Everything is pretty buggy. So over here, for example, I can't even edit this email field, so I have to close out of that. And for example, I'd have to enter a new name field, field identifier, let's say first name. I'll click save. And see, I can't edit this email field. And if you change if you change them up, if you put the first name here and email here, now if you click edit, that's still the first name, okay? So it's still, it visually shows that like it changed them, but it did not. Again, this has been there for months. And of course, the submit button, you cannot change at all. There's no customization, unless of course, maybe if you use coding, if you have a developer who can play with the code, because you are given a code once you complete this form, you're given a code, then you can go in and you can make maybe changes to it with like a professional coder. But for beginners, for people just starting out, this is your form. So huge lack of customization. If you go back into their, let's go back into their Groove Mail, and if you go into campaigns, right, you go into sequences, you go into edit, you can edit, your sequence of emails here. That's fine. and it shows here that you can do from left to right. No, you can't. Left to right doesn't work either. Again, all these small things add up, guys. Like, if you have so many of them, you claim you're in beta, but you've been in beta for so long, and I'm not seeing any improvements. I waited 3 or 4 months now, and I'm not seeing any improvements at all. So I'm not gonna wait any longer. I'm gonna release this video, and I don't think anything's gonna change, to be honest. But yeah, so they say, this left to right works. No, it doesn't. Like, this isn't, this looks kind of crappy. This kind of thing is in the middle. I was hoping you would have like a little arrow going here, right? From like left to right. Instead, it's just doing that, which is, I mean, I could have done that myself. So yeah, so small things like that, and yeah, you're pretty much forced to use a third-party autoresponder so you can make a form that at least looks something like this, which again, this isn't ideal, and I have to go into the button and I have to adjust like my padding, my margins, all that, something I don't really want to do, right? If I'm trying to make this simple, if you are the ClickFunnels killer, I shouldn't have to on my button have all these different spacing options. Like, this is just frustrating, and then it's not gonna look good on, like, look at this, right? This is not beginner friendly at all. So I think that covers these two parts pretty well. Let me know if you guys have any questions, but it's just so frustrating to work with, guys. Now, the last thing is support. So they do have support. They generally have live chat. Yeah, so here they have live chat support. Support isn't very good either. So in my experience, based on my questions, I would ask them some simple questions when I was first starting out, and what they would do is they would just send me a link to their YouTube video, which is okay. Like, that's cool. You send me a link to your YouTube video in response to a question. They send me the timestamp, all's good and well. I did what the timestamp says, and suppose I had other questions, which I did. I had other questions, or something in the video for me wasn't working. So I sent them a question. I said, I asked them again. I said, hey, I've actually did this exact thing that you show in your video. It doesn't work for me. Like, is this a bug? Just let me know if it's a bug. And what do? They send you that video again. So in general, the reps, they don't know the answer to the question, at least the live chat ones. The reps aren't familiar with GrooveFunnels at all. They don't know GrooveFunnels at all. What all they do is they're gonna send you the relevant YouTube videos. That is it. And then as I kept pressing and asking, like, hey, here's my video to show you what the question is, on the 4th time, that's when they finally responded saying, yeah, we're gonna send your question up for higher support. This was a very simple question, guys, that reps should know. I was just asking them why, when I would click on mobile, for example, it wouldn't, when I would make changes, it would change it on mobile and desktop, right? Simple question, reps should know. What they should have told me is, well, you have to double click. You have to double click it to make sure that it only affects your mobile view. And instead, the interaction took 4 backs and forths of me sending them ultimately a video showing them what's going on. And then they finally sent me to somebody else, whereas they could have just said, well, yeah, just make sure to double click. These are things they're supposed to know, not just refer you to a YouTube video so you can look it up. If you ask someone a question from the support desk, you assume that they're familiar with the platform. That's why they have a job there. That's why they know what they're talking about. Even if the video covers it and you don't know what's in the video, the support rep is supposed to go in there and say, well, actually, you're not doing it exactly as it shows in the video. You're supposed to do something else. That's what the reps are there for. Reps aren't there to just send you a YouTube video, and if the YouTube video doesn't help you, then they have to send it up. That's not, what is the support there for? I know YouTube video links. I can type in GrooveFunnels, mobile optimization. What's the point of support then? So I ended up waiting a week for a reply, and they finally gave me the answer. So it took 1 week to give me a simple answer to that. Now, this was just an example. I did have another question, and it followed the same suit. These guys, they don't really read the question. They just, I guess they follow a script or something. They're not familiar with the platform. They give you canned responses, and they send you videos, okay? So that's kind of my take. It's an incomplete product. That's why it's still in beta, but how much longer are you gonna be in beta? They keep claiming they're the ClickFunnels killer, they're the best, they charge $1,400. Don't be under the illusion that it's free. It is free, but they really catch people with their $1,400 lifetime plan. So even though it's free, a lot of people really buy that $1,400 lifetime plan thinking it's so great and it's gonna evolve. I personally don't think so. It's been in beta for a long time. There have been no major changes. It's still as buggy and frustrating to work with as 4 months ago. And this is just really, really overhyped. So this is my review, especially for you new people who are looking at GrooveFunnels and are thinking, maybe I should try it out. Not in my opinion. If despite this entire review you still want to try GrooveFunnels, which I don't suggest at all, I do have a video guiding you through how to create a landing page from scratch. We do it together. Take a look at that video, but it is as frustrating as I show you here, okay? So it is a pain, but if you don't care and you, for some odd reason, you still want to try it, take a look at that. We do it together. But that is it for my review, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.